Welcome back, guys. I hope you're doing all right. So as always, more interesting updates for this video. And to start with, it seems like the NFF are going to be having some challenges regarding employing Eric Chelle to become the Nigerian Super Eagles head coach. Of course, you know Eric Chelle is the front runner to replace Coach Finidi. The NFF, in fact, has a four-man shortlisted candidate for that one. We talked about that in previous video, but from the look of things, Eric Chelle has had the most advanced conversations with NFF, and even some media are now putting it out there that Eric Chelle has in fact agreed term with the NFF, and that in 2 weeks' time they're going to announce him. But the real challenge right now is that the Malian president has now weighed into the situation, as he has now had a direct contact to Eric Chelle, begging him, I would say begging him or trying to convince him to come back to coach the Mali national team, continue where he stopped from last 2 months. Of course, if you follow the channel, you know that we talked about it. Eric Chelle was the last coach of the Mali side. He actually handled them for 2 years straight, had a decent record with them, played 22 games, lost only 2 of them, and everybody liked him. But last 2 months he had some really bad run of results, losing against Ghana and then drawing against Madagascar. So that was the end for him. They had to fire him after that Madagascar draw. But they are currently begging him to come back, and the president has now jumped in to promise heaven and earth to the man, including increasing bonuses and all of that, just to make sure that Eric Chelle comes back to coach the Mali side and abandon the Nigerian Super Eagles project and NFF and the discussion that has been going on for a number of days right now. And just to give you a perspective to why the president has now jumped into this situation, there's been reports that the Mali players, as the senior players in the Mali national team, are threatening to quit the national team, to abandon playing for their country if Eric Chelle is not brought back to to coach them. They are saying that they love him, they liked they love the run that they were having before he was fired, and they have demanded that the man is brought back, or else some of the senior players are going to quit the national team. So this is why the Mali president is doing everything possible to make sure that he convinces this coach to come back to Mali and then abandon the Nigerian Super Eagles. So it still remains to be seen whether Eric Chelle is going to sign the contract with NFF. Even though speculations and fans are saying that it's almost a done deal right now. But again, if it doesn't happen, what it means is that NFF are going to have to look for alternative somewhere else among the 4 men shortlisted candidates. Of course, I talked about Javier Renaz and the fact that he is almost out of the picture because his salary is way too big, $180,000 a month, way too much for NFF to afford. So he's not in the picture. If Eric Chelle doesn't work out, NFF are going to explore the second most preferred choice, which is Tom Seinfeld, who is also someone that NFF like in a way because they say that he has experience coaching teams in Africa. Of course, I covered that in previous video. He has coached Gambia, and then he has coached Togo. So he will be the next person that NFF are going to look if they cannot get Chelle. McLaren, as I mentioned in previous video, is also someone that NFF appreciate very much, and they would want him to take a shot at it. But he's not like the second choice because a big disadvantage for him is that he doesn't have experience in Africa. He has not coached any African team, so this is a big disadvantage for him, and that's why they will not consider him if Eric Chelle doesn't work out. And moving on to the next gist, and this one is concerning Pinnick, the former Nigerian Football Federation's president. He has now gave the reason why he prefers foreign coaches to local coaches. And of course, you know that Pinnick was in charge of the Nigerian Football Federation during the time that General Raw was the head coach for several years, and then he was also the person in charge when Randy Warjon was elected as the coach of the women's team. But this man has said that he always prefers foreign coach to local coach. Pinnick mentioned that his problem with employing local coaches or working with local coaches for the Nigerian national team is not that they are not qualified enough or that they don't have the the technique or the ability to handle the national team, but the real reason is that they are not respected by the players. He said that this is the major reason why he prefers foreign coach. He mentioned that foreign coach always has the command and the respect from the players. Pinnick currently holds a FIFA Council membership, and of course, he was a heavy supporter of Coach Finidi at the time that NFF wanted to employ him, but it did not really last. And for Pinnick, it's the same reason. No respect from the players at the national team, because they know the player, they know that he's from Nigeria, and therefore all respect, was thrown out of the window. And moving further beyond that, just let me let you know that Gift Orban's stay at Lyon is becoming increasingly difficult as the club has now signed some additional strikers. The latest to be added into the Lyon team sheets is now the Georgian striker Georges Makataze, who was in blistering form in the Euro. He was actually a tied highest goal scorer for the Euros. He had 3 goals, in that Euros, which is a joint top scorer. So immediately after the Euros, Lyon actually had to move quickly to sign him from Metz. Actually, they sabotaged the deal between Monaco and Metz to sign Makataze for 18.5 million euros and tied him to a 4-year deal at the club. And what this has now done is that it increased the striker's depth in Lyon. And of course, when you have depth, when you have too many options, it becomes even difficult for you to be selected. Likes of Alexander Lacazette, and they recently purchased Mama Balde, among other options. So this is becoming increasingly dangerous for Gift Orban. I thought that this season was going to be a season that he would have more playing time compared with last season that he joined halfway and he was having sparing minutes. So with the move now by Lyon to get extra striking additions, it means that they are hinting that they may want to part ways with Gift Orban. And the report right now is that they are even having some conversations with another club side that the Lyon owners actually own in South American League. They are discussing about a potential loan deal for Gift Orban. The club is reportedly considering a loan move for Gift Orban at Botafogo Football Club in Brazil, which is also a club that's owned by the Lyon owners. And alternatively, they are also looking at maybe selling him outrightly to an MLS club side, the Colorado Rapids. But no decisions have been made. It's just speculations, and of course, it may not happen. Maybe Gift Orban has a good preseason, starts off on a high note and starts banging in goals and becomes the first choice of the Lyon side. We'll see what happens, but at this point, he needs to step up and be at the top of his game for him to win his shirt for this coming season. That's the update, guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel. React to any of the stories that you like. Take care of yourselves and stay tuned to the channel.